Hello again, guys. Another little episode of Robert in the swimming pool. My best time of the day, I guess. Yeah. So, what's gonna be the topic now? I want to talk about a little about back pain and back problems, and something I found to be kind of a miracle drug, I guess I should call it. This is probably gonna provoke some people, but I want to put it out there anyway, because this is my experience, and it's how I kind of got out of the ditch I was in. And what I want to talk about is a drug, a medicine actually, that's called Carisoprodol, or Somadril, as it was called before, and I think here in Thailand it was marketed as Soma, and it's kind of an infamous drug, kind of. And it's actually pretty stupid, and I'll explain why. I was given this medicine first time around 16, 17 years ago, and a specialist that I went to after I got this, he told me that he thought this was just like narcotics. I would just get high on it, and it wouldn't have any good effect for me. So that was his opinion. I shouldn't do it, shouldn't use it, and I listened to him. I didn't use it. I think I tried it like 1 or 2 times. I was advised to take 2 tablets along with 2, I think it was a forte, like Paralgin forte, I think, something like that. It was a pretty strong drugs. So a combo of that was what I was supposed to take, and I took it, and honestly I just felt I felt high. I didn't really feel it helped much with the pain, and it didn't seem like a great thing at all. So I didn't use this again for quite a while, and the thing was that I was getting so bad. Things were getting so bad for me in 2012, 13, 14, those years. I was just so down, so physically, like horribly bad, and hardly functioning, and I was just, what can I do? Like I had gone to chiropractor for years. I tried acupuncture, I tried all kinds of stuff, and I think those years in like 2012 or 13, I also went to physiotherapy, like some special physiotherapy with training in a pool. I couldn't even do that. I felt, that's kind of one of those situations where I felt like, what the hell is going on with my life? I can't do this. This is just horrible, because I was put in like a beginner class for like pool like training, and I couldn't keep up with them. There were like 60, 70, 80-year-old people. I couldn't keep up. And I was hurting so bad. Every time I had to twist the back a little bit, I was like almost crying. It was someone stabbing me in the back with a knife. It was horrible. So I was like thinking, what could I do? What can I try? And the thing is, I've always been this computer nerd, I guess. So I was researching quite a bit on the internet, and I read about this drug that I had used before, and I found out how, this is kind of interesting, I guess. I found out how the abusers were using it. I was reading about abusers, how they used it effectively, and my doctor prescribed this drug for me again, and I'm always very reluctant to try new drugs, and I'm always very, I don't really want to use drugs at all. I think partly because of my history, I guess, because my father, he was an alcoholic, and he mixed alcohol with different types of medicine, tablets, nerve tablets, and it didn't go very well for him, to put it mildly. He went into a coma 2 times, I think, because of mixing alcohol with medication. So I had this reluctance, I guess, about using medication at all. So what I found out was that this drug, the best way to use it is 1 tablet before bedtime, and it had to be taken in a special way to ensure that you had the effect like it should be. So you had to eat the meal first. My way was doing it was some cereal mix with milk. That's how I usually took it. I'm not sure if the milk played a role in this, but I did have a couple of times where it didn't really work that well, and I remember that was occasions when I didn't have milk in the meal. So perhaps that's part of it. I'm not entirely sure, but they should really do more research on that, because the drug is extremely helpful if it's done right. So I would take the drug, 1 tablet before bedtime, and what it did was it dulled the pain, and it made me able to get deep sleep. And this was really important, because before I got on this regimen, I could be up 10-20 times during the night. Like, I had to get up because I had this horrible ache in the lower back and the pains, and sometimes if I moved I would wake up. It was horrible. But this drug made me get long sleep, deep sleep, and over time it was like thawing the muscle in my lower back and my back in general, and I started functioning a little bit more. It took time. It didn't happen overnight, but it made me functional, and that's why I call it a miracle drug, because there wasn't really anything else. Like, when you look at the specter of medication they give out for lower back pain, it's some pretty heavy stuff. Like, some doctors are saying like, oh, you can just take some paracetamol, oh, that's gonna help. And it turns out later with actual factual research, it's bullshit. Paracetamol doesn't help at all. Perhaps what they call it, just your mind tricking you into believing it works, I guess. But it actually doesn't help you at all. So the other stuff they give out is like tramadol, heavy painkilling stuff. It's opiate based, some of it. And how does that help you in the long run? Like, why would I wouldn't do that. Like, why would I trade off one problem with another problem? Why would I want to have an addiction to some kind of medication? I don't want that. And the problem, and this is why this is kind of controversial, is that the Somadril, the Carisoprodol, it got a really bad rep. There was a Norwegian study done that made it look like it was basically just something that didn't really work, and it was heavily misused, and people got very dependent, very addicted to it. And there were some fatalities from abuse, yeah, overuse, I guess. So I think this is actually kind of, this is serious stuff. I think they really should go back and review this study, because what I found when I was researching this, because I was reading the addicts story, you know, like, because it was getting hard to get hold of the drug, and what many of them did was that in Spain you could get a drug called Roxy, which contained Carisoprodol. But the thing was that this product was a composite drug that also included paracetamol. So it had paracetamol and Carisoprodol. And when you read about how these abusers were using this drug, you'll see that many of them, they would take the tablets and then ingest alcohol, because the alcohol would enhance the effect of the drug. And the thing is that when you do that, when you eat something like that, which includes paracetamol, and you ingest alcohol, that's gonna fuck up your liver bad. I mean, a friend of mine, he was tricked. This is a horrible story. He was tricked. He wasn't that smart, but some friends of his, they tricked him into eating 20 paracetamol and downing, I don't remember how much, with moonshine, Norwegian moonshine. Now that's like 96% alcohol, something like that. And what happened to him? He collapsed, went into a coma, and he died because of organ shutdown. And what I think they should look at is these people who have died related to the Carisoprodol. I think they should look for remains of paracetamol, because it could be these people were importing this Roxy from Spain, which were mixed in paracetamol, because they could order them online and have them delivered through the post, and it was legal because it was over-the-counter drugs in Spain, so it was actually legal to import this. And I think that is something that should be looked into, because I was reading about people who were misusing, abusing Carisoprodol with a substantial amount of tablets per day with alcohol, and they didn't have any kind of problem like that. So I think they have to look at that. And here's another very important thing about the drug: it shouldn't be prescribed for people who are still working, who are still, like, you shouldn't give it to someone to help them keep on working, you know, if you understand what I mean. Like, we had people at work, one guy I knew, he would have like 4, 6, I don't know, 8 tablets per day to keep working. But the thing with the drug is that it has this side effect that you get very drowsy, and it can be very dangerous if you go driving a car, for example. You do some activity where you get drowsy and fall asleep, and that is not good. But the point is that if you keep people on a high dose like this, you're gonna get them addicted. It's not, you don't have to be a genius to understand this. So what my claim would be that the doctors and the medical pharmaceutical industry in Norway, they made these people addicts by using it this way. And I think it's basically because of a lack of understanding of how to use this drug. And I think it's really sad, because it helped me so much, and I see and I hear people who have so much problem with lower back pain, and I think they could try this also, doing it like I did. So I don't know, perhaps I should write a letter to the producer of the drug, asking them to try to do a new study on it, using it the way I described just now, because it's a great drug. That's the point here. I'm not saying this because you know, it's for my own selfish interest to get high on something. That's not the point here. The point is it's a very helpful drug, And when you have people who even contemplate suicide because they have so much pain, I mean, whatever they can try, please just let them try it, see if it helps. And yeah, because of this Norwegian study I mentioned, it's the drug has become really hard to find, really hard to get. And they even took from me my prescription. I had a prescription for this for several years, but I changed doctor. My regular doctor, my old one, he had to quit for some reasons, and my new one, he wasn't allowed to give me the drug. He was denied when he tried to prescribe it for me, and I found that really sad, because at that time I didn't need to take the drug. I just wanted to have it available in case I would have problems again. So I've been living without it for 2 years now, 3 years, two or 3 years, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not addicted to it. It's not a problem. It was just okay. I didn't really need it, but it felt like it would be a great thing to have as a backup. Yeah. So my suggestion, if you have lower back pain, chronic pain, try Carisoprodol or one of the other brand names for it, but use it wisely. Use one tablet before sleep